We're often taught politics through facts, how many MPs there are, or what each department is called. It's good to know, but makes politics feel kind of distant. Why does it always have to be about memorizing stuff? We should learn how power works and shapes your life. So forget the jargon and the titles. At its core, politics is about two levers. 1, the rules, the law and the policies, and 2, money. How much funding goes into schools or hospitals? It sets benefit levels, it decides tax rates, what you pay and what corporations pay. That's all government is, a giant machine that creates and applies budgets and rules. So how are rules made? Rules begin as bills, proposed laws that get debated and voted on. The House of Commons is where bills are introduced, debated, amended, and voted for or against. The people who vote on these bills are called MPs. They're chosen by the public through general elections, and most MPs belong to political parties. Because if you want to pass a law, you need numbers, and to get numbers, you need a party behind you. The party with the most MPs gets to form the government, and their leader becomes the Prime Minister. With a large majority and party unity, a government can pass most bills easily. That being said, depending on election results, you might have a small majority government. This means you have the largest party, but not by much. In these cases, it might be harder to pass a bill. Either you have less than 50% representation in the House of Commons due to many other parties being there, or you have slightly more than 50%, but your MPs may vote against their own party because of their own personal reasons. To understand why an MP might vote for or against a bill, you have to understand their free incentive. Number 1, party loyalty. In most cases, MPs vote in line with their party because of a party whip, a system that tells MPs how to vote. Defy it and you risk losing your future career prospects or your position in the party. Then there's constituency opinions. MPs need local votes to stay in their seats. So if constituents oppose a bill, some will rebel. Finally, there's media or public scrutiny, because no one wants to be the villain in tomorrow's headline. So every vote really does matter, because a party winning the election by a landslide or by a tiny fraction will determine how easily it can pass bills. Okay, so let's say you have a strong majority government. Does this mean that they can just do whatever they want? Well, not quite. Because on top of the House of Commons, there is another chamber, the House of Lords. Unlike the Commons, it's unelected. They're usually appointed for achievements in politics, business, arts, or public service. They're the ones who examine laws in detail and suggest concerns or amendments. They can also delay proposed laws, but not block them, so the Commons have final say. So if the ruling party really want, they can push for a bill the Lords don't approve of, but it will be a lot of hassle. And since the House of Lords are unelected, they don't have to worry so much about being popular or catering to the masses. On top of that, not all rules come from full bills. Many acts of parliament leave the details for later. Phrases like, the Secretary of State will determine X, Y, and Z. This is secondary legislation. It allows ministers and the civil servants to fill in the gaps without requiring a full vote every time. Thousands of rules are written this way, often quietly and with little scrutiny. You might wonder why we'd allow this, but both the government and the opposition find it convenient. For the party in power, it's a way to move fast and avoid awkward debates, and also to avoid being forced to publicly support or oppose tricky little details that might split their voter base. Neither side wants to get bogged down in every little decision, especially if those decisions are unpopular or complex. So even when you think something was decided by Parliament, it might have actually been decided in an office by someone you didn't vote for.